Google Doc.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Because it's different than the...
See if I decline and then come back if my face will show up.
Okay. That was group member number 4, right?
Yeah.
What's the date?
The 15th.
Alright, well, I'm just gonna pretend you can see my face again. I'm in the library, so like the computers might be different than my own laptop. My computer broke.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm taking it in Friday to get fixed.
At least it wasn't like finals week.
Yeah, that would have been way worse.
For real. Who took notes last?
I can take notes this time.
Cool.
Thank you.
Let me just grab a pencil.
I'm so like not used to this. I was like, who's gonna teach?
I know.
I know, right?
I was like thinking about that, and then I was like, oh, just having normal conversation.
Alright, I'm ready.
Cool. So, we can go through the considerations. Okay, how familiar is everyone with the 13 IDEA categories?
I feel like I'm more familiar with some than with others.
Yeah.
I feel like we talk a lot about like specific learning disabilities, and we talk a lot about like autism, but there's a lot that isn't familiar with.
Yeah. I feel like we like kind of talked about like the gist of them, or like at least like the main ones in like 250. But like things like dyspraxia and like dyscalculia or whatever, like I didn't know those, or like some of the specifics. And
Yeah.
stuff like that I didn't know. No. Have a good time.
Bread with pizza.
LOL. But yeah, like I had never heard about ones like that before.
Not me either. I had to look up the definition actually and read a lot more into dysgraphia.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole entire thing. And it's interesting because dysgraphia and dyslexia and ADHD and auditory, all of them are like kind of the same, but not really. And so I'm like, I had to read all that over again because I'm like, wait, what? So ADHD is a part of this, and what auditory dyslexia is this and this? What?
Yeah, I think I struggle, or I noticed that I don't really understand the difference, like, because like what I had understood from like 250 was that like here's the autism spectrum and Asperger's is within the autism spectrum. But like what I got from this reading was that the autism spectrum is here, like one thing, and Asperger's is another thing.
Yeah, I like had a friend in high school, and his older brother had Asperger's, and we were always like told to understand that it was just like somewhere on the autism spectrum. That's also what I thought I understood from 250. So this reading was really contradictory. But then I remembered hearing, like when we first were like, the people were like, oh, like Matthew's different. Like, Matthew has Asperger's, and explaining it to us. They didn't call it autism at all, but it was like later on that they were like, oh, but it like is autism. So I wonder if it's just like it used to be separate and now it's together, and maybe like that information like from this, from what we read, like isn't there.
Yeah, and I like want to know if it was like if Asperger's was included before or if it's no longer included. Like I'm super unsure there.
Yeah.
Definitely need to read more up on that.
I feel like it's just like impossible to memorize like the difference between everything. And you just have to, like, as students come into your classroom and like you read the IEPs and like find out what's going on with all of them, like that's when you like research it and figure it out and like learn how to make it.
Yeah.
Also, it's very different with kids that have some of these, because I have a kid in my class that has autism, and I was always taught that, like, oh, if they have autism, like, you don't touch them, but he like goes up and hugs people.
Yeah.
And so that really threw me off.
Oh yeah, I have the same thing in one of the classes that I work in. There's a little boy with autism, and he loves touch. Like, he always holds my hand. He wants to come up and hug me. Because like I'd heard the same thing that like don't touch them, because like I'm very much the type that when I talk to a student, I put my hand on their shoulder, or like, you know, like I know I'm not probably supposed to, but I just do. But like, so whenever I was in classrooms, I like with a student that I knew had autism, I wouldn't do that. But like, he very much responds well when I touch him. And so that was super interesting to me. Just like, I think just like realizing like students are so like disabilities are so different for the student. Like it's so hard to classify them because like the different characteristics that are within them are like, they're so different. They're so wildly different that it's so hard to know.
Yeah, and I feel like there's like a lot of danger in generalizing. Like, okay, like every student that has this disability is gonna have these needs, and like this is their personality, and just like putting them in the box is just so like detrimental.
Yeah. Oh yeah. How familiar was everyone with the difference between accommodations and modifications?
Oh, I know that by heart. Like, modifications, you completely change the curriculum, and the other accommodations, you just give them extra help, like give them more time for a test.
Yeah, I remember
when full plan something easier like that to accommodate.
Yeah.
So modification, yeah, totally agree. That's definitely, you can say, different, because modification is said also that you can fall behind if you do it too much, too modification. So that's the problem with modification. You just need to have a balance, or the kids will like, fall behind. You don't want them to fall behind because of their disorder or something.
Yeah. Changing how they learn versus what they learn.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I remember when we talked about it in 250, she was saying like accommodations or something that you do, like teachers do every day for like pretty much every student. Like, there are things that you're doing and tweaking, but then the modifications is really when you need to like resort to the IEP and like understand that you're like changing your expectations.
Yeah, like the accommodation is just like realizing that there's a barrier and like shifting something in order to be like around that barrier. But when like a modification is like, it's simply like, this isn't going to get done no matter the accommodations, and so we're going to shift expectations. But like accommodations are like tangible things almost. Modifications are like, you're completely changing the curriculum. I mean, to a degree, it probably depends on their need, but.
And then that can prevent them from being able to graduate with a diploma.
And I hate that.
Yeah. Sad.
Yeah, like it makes sense, but it's just like, damn. Like, I wish that, like, reading that and being like, where it was like kind of like saying to parents, like, don't go to this as your first resort because this is going to hinder your child being able to get a job. Like, that kills me. Like, yeah, I understand that these students need that, and like, it makes sense. We can't give them the diploma that we give the 4.0 AP kid. Like, we can't. It doesn't work. But like, can't we give them something that's going to help them be successful? Like, they're learning so many great skills.
I know a lot of schools like have for kids with disabilities, like where they go and work somewhere, which is gets them to know people that'll like hire them after college then.
Yeah, I heard that. There was a kid that I worked in an ERR room that I was in high school, who had Down syndrome and like worked at the pizza place and stuff. And it was super cool because he'd like go and just like loved it. And I was like, yeah, you have like, he was on a modified like curriculum and stuff like that, and like he wasn't gonna like graduate with a normal diploma. But I was like, but you're learning skills to where like you're gonna be able to take care, at least like you're gonna be at least somewhat independent.
Well, there's news if you guys haven't heard. There's another Down syndrome. I've been looking on Facebook. I know that's not the place to look, but since like I'm connected to like special ed and stuff on Facebook, kind of I guess live feed. But there's autism like getting married. There's autism for spectrum of being a dancer. She's a dancer and she's a model. I don't know if you heard about that. And then there's another one. I think a guy has his own business with his dad with shoes. Oh no, not shoes. I think it's shirts. But you can buy any shirts you want. And he creates all of them and that. And so it's crazy how like a lot of people undermine them kind of. But if they find a passion, just like us, they do very well. They just need a little guidance, and that's all really. So.
Is assistive technology considered an accommodation modification, both or neither? Accommodation?
I think both.
Yeah.
How would it be a modification, do you think?
Well, I don't know if it would like necessarily like be the modification, but like in conjunction with.
Yeah, I feel like it could be used as an accommodation within the modification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if a student has some sort of specific learning disability with reading, they could be on a modified curriculum or whatever it's called for like, and just in general, but they still use accommodations like text-to-speech or stuff like that in order to continue to do their work within their modified plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. They would work in anonymously, but I feel like a lot of like the assistive technology like that we think of, like I don't know, one of my examples is like an audio player, like. Like I feel like that, like most of the ones that we initially think of are just like accommodations.
Yeah, because like if what you're trying to like, if the skill you're trying to teach isn't being like changed or affected by the technology, then like if you're like teaching handwriting and using a typewriter, like that would be a modification. But teaching, like if you want them to comprehend a story, and if you don't care if they read or listen to it, then it wouldn't matter if they read.
Yeah, I have some down like, oh, sorry.
Oh no, you're totally good.
I wrote some down like Chrome tools, software, auto books, kind of like what the teacher did. Like the teacher can have like speak in a microphone for a child, and then the child can have like an earpiece. So it's, like,
that's like what Megan
hear better. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, so kind of like those things in digital media, like we kind of did with our presentation. We think of more visual for visual learners too. So.
Well, I did. I guess we'll just go through this. I did audio player. The audio players are pretty cool. For students who have difficulty at reading, this eliminates the barrier to learning and allows students access to the same material. But it also may be helpful for students that need to listen to something more than once. And having like text-to-speech software will also assist in reading things on a device. So like instead of like a kid having to like sit down and read something, read a book, they can listen to it. They're getting the exact same material. They're just getting it in a different way. And then I had closed captioning. Closed captioning on all videos used for the class gives students with auditory disability the ability to take in the material being said in that video. Helps a major barrier for the students to keep them engaged in the classroom, do the same activities and learning the same material as all other students. Like, it's crazy to me how one thing, like just having words written on a screen, can change someone learning something. Like, completely. Like, that blows my mind. And then my third one was screen readers, which I thought were cool after taking 250 and having that guy come in that uses a screen reader and like talking about it. I thought they were cool, but it's basically just like a software application that helps those with visual impairments. So instead of like needing to read what's on the screen, the software reads it out loud for them, so that they can use the device like anyone else would. And like having him show us like all the stuff that screen readers do, and like they literally will read everything, and like there's so many like shortcuts and stuff, so that people don't have to like go through every single line of everything to get through something. Like that's incredible to me. Like that we can create something like that so that people that are blind can use Instagram and Facebook
Right.
and read articles online, and like that's so cool.
My three, the first one that I put was portable word processors. So, I mean, it's basically like a typewriter, but more complex because it's not connected to the internet or as expensive like as a computer. So it's more like classroom friendly, so it's not like distractible. But they're also like super easy for students to take like from home to school and back and forth, so that they're always like with their compatibility, and it just helps them students who like with the fine motor skills that are required for writing and all of that to be able to use the word processors just help to them. And then something that I had never heard about before until I started the research for this was calculators. And like I never thought about how a calculator could like be not accessible to someone. Like I was like, oh, like, that's an easy thing to use, but not if you can't see the buttons. And so the talkie calculator will read it aloud to you. Like as you input numbers, it'll say like the one that you push, so you know you're pushing the right one.
That's so cool.
And then I know I was like, what? That's a thing? That's so awesome. And then the third one that I found, they're called head pointers, and for students who like don't have use of their hands, like some kids who have cerebral palsy can't use their hands. They can use their head to like point to use like a device. So it's like a pointer. You can use it as like a stylus on like an iPad, or even to like touch the buttons on a keyboard. And so they could like use a device without having to move around. Like if they could just like move their head around, which is something that like seems super simple, but would actually like make a huge difference to students who need that.
I remember reading about that in one of my for one of my classes, and I thought that was so cool. Just like looking at a picture of it, because it's so different. For mine, I did text to speech and dictate, because both of those, like, you don't have to read it and write it. You can tell it online, and if you have trouble seeing, you can just have it read to you and still get the same curriculum. And then there's these like glasses that you can put on if you have trouble seeing. That's like a different color, and for some reason, because it's a different color, it makes it easier for the kids that are having trouble reading. Like they're able to read it. It sounds really weird. Like supposedly it works, so I'd like to try that.
That's cool. And there's so many cool things. Cool. I think that's everything, guys.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
If you just wanna, I think we have to upload this by tomorrow or Sunday. Tomorrow.
I think Sunday. I'm not sure. I'll put the link in it tonight, and then.
Okay. Cool. So, Katie, if you just want to put the notes inside of the, I think it's shared with you guys. Let me know if it's not. I thought I'd have it shared with us. It should be in the group 9 folder.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me know if it's not, and I'll just share it with you.
Okay. Sounds good.
Awesome.
All right. Have a good week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.